Hello there, good morning. Welcome to another edition of Nugs to Nuggets. My name is Oluwayomi Ute, and it's such a joy to come your way this very beautiful morning. Thank God always for the gift of life that we can all be here together. It's just the proof that God has again been faithful to us, and we don't take that for granted at all. Wow, I say a big thank you to everyone joining me live. And to everyone that will watch thereafter, I say a big thank you. Thank you for giving me a share of your time. Like I'll always ask, please like the video, share it, let somebody out there know that there is something called Nugs to Nuggets. Let's together build a community that is becoming their best self every day. So today, I'm happy I have again in the house a continuation of the International Women's Day. We started last week, and she was in the house. She is at the forefront of positioning organizations for competitiveness for almost 2 decades, leveraging on resources, reputation, and relationships to create positive financial as well as environmental, economic, and social impact. My guest brings to bear multi-sector experience for delivering multi-sector experience, delivering progressive performance while building credible partnerships that strengthen opportunities for positive impact. To date, she has implemented over 200 successful projects in corporate social responsibility, strategic partnerships and alliances, human rights and impact assessment, environmental and economic sustainability, business recapitalization, product development, culture transformation, communications, and branding. She was recognized as one of the top 60 African women in development by the Donors for Africa, top 100 leading career women by 9 to 5 Chick, and 100 women creating a better Africa by We for Good International. My guest is a facilitator, faculty member, and teacher with many sides. We witnessed that last week, right? As a thought and practice leader, she has spoken in several conferences within Africa. She was part of the global team to conduct a peer review for the mining sector reporting standards for Global Reporting Initiative, the world's largest developer of sustainability reporting standards, adopted by over 700 companies globally. She is a member of the Harvard Business Review Advisory Council. She has served as judge for Junior Chamber International, the Outstanding Young Persons Award, and is also a tutor for Chartered Institute of Marketing UK, Accredited Study Center in Nigeria. She is a member of the Sustainability Policy Commission of the Nigeria Economic Summit Group. She has her first degree in Arts and Humanities, a master's in Business Administration, and is a member of several professional institutes in Nigeria. She is a member of the International Society for Sustainability Professionals, Financial Reporting Council of Nigeria, Project Management Institute USA, and an associate of Chartered Institute of Marketing UK. She obtained the highest professional marketing qualification in the UK, and she has also studied at the Lagos Business School and the Harvard Business School. She's a published author, mentor, and coaches younger people, especially women, and has impacted several women across Africa. She's committed, she's a committed volunteer on several humanitarian causes. Now, ladies and gentlemen, join me to receive back on the Knox Nugget platform, Titilope Oguntuga. Hey.
Good morning. It's a pleasure to be here today. Good morning. Good morning. Thank you all for joining us today.
Thank you so much, Titi. And thank you. My guest has given us this book. So 5 people on this call will be getting 30 Days a Woman, a practical guide to living life fully. And thank you for my own copy. I've started reading it actually. That's why it's right by me already marked. Thank you so much, Titi, for being on this call. I don't take it for granted at all. And last week, we started talking about equity, equality, and we landed up almost talking about work-life balance. But before we go into work-life balance, I want to ask you an interesting question, and I've had it severally, that usually in the workplace, the woman is the woman's worst enemy, that the women boss are so tough, they are hard, they are this, they are that. How true is this? Let me start with that and bring you on the spot.
It's interesting. I mean, and I will share my own personal experiences. I've had, a taste of both worlds. Good, fantastic female bosses, and not so good female bosses. And my take, I mean, with the benefit of hindsight, is that both, you need both. You need a taste of both worlds to sharpen you as a woman, to sharpen your skills, to sharpen your intuition, to sharpen everything that you need to get to that space where you want to get to. Now, to answer your question specifically, and I am a female boss myself, so I would start with that. One of the things that I do is to engage, my subordinates or people who are in my team, to let them know I have a passion for high standards.
Mhm.
And that is where the real issues are. A woman who has a passion for high standards will demand more from her team. And that is where a lot of people get to think, oh, she's high-handed, she's difficult, she's this, she's that. So, I mean, when anyone is joining my team, one of the best first things I do is let's reorientate ourselves. I have a passion for excellence. As a matter of fact, excellence is one of my personal core values. So when you're coming to work with me, drop any baggages, that you have, anything that you have at the back of your minds, and come with the mindset that you are ready to learn, you are ready to put in your best, and you are ready to, continue to improve. Continuous improvement is a thing for me. So I believe that many times, because we have that, passion for high standards, a lot of people get to think that, oh, this woman is high-handed, she's difficult, she's not cooperative. But on the long run, the woman is the better for it. And that is where the role of feedback is very important. Have check-ins, know what is going right, know what is going wrong. Because also, as leaders, we have blind spots. You may not know that there are certain things that you're not doing right. And so it's important that you have regular check-ins. How are you doing? How am I also doing as your leader, as your boss? And that is where we are able to get to that point where we are helping one another to deliver on the results, to achieve the kind of performance that we would desire to see.
Absolutely. Titi, I totally agree with you. And the truth of the matter is this: a lot of times, people come into our teams thinking they can take women for granted unconsciously. Many people, and that's so true. Even women do it to themselves. Sometimes you think, oh, she's a woman, so anything can go. I can take all the excuses I want in the world. And it's not like that. And again, we also have the third eye, kind of. Our perception is usually very strong. So we probably can suddenly see what nobody else is seeing, and then they think we are high-handed. It's not true. So for everyone out there who is thinking the woman is a tough person, the truth is this: excellence is just a core value everyone should develop. Decide to be excellent in that workspace. And trust me, you have any challenge with your boss. And by the way, Titi, don't we have had bosses as men as well?
We
Some guys
do
are
have
just difficult.
absolutely.
And nobody is
Yeah.
talking.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, I've had a boss, who a male boss, it felt like he hated me. But I mean, when I look back, when I do a bit of reflection, I just think that he helped me to become the person that because I wouldn't go to him, for example, without asking myself the right questions, without anticipating or preempting him, without and that's the way that we all get to begin to stand, be on our feet all the
Yeah,
time, all
yeah,
the time.
yeah,
So yes,
yeah.
it has its own advantages as well.
Absolutely. So let's come to work-life balance. That is last week when you were talking about the women and the various, I don't want to call it challenges, but that's what it is that we have to go through. The monthly cycle, the mood swings, and all of those things, and the demands on the home. Is there something called work balance? Is there anything like work life balance?
There is work-life balance, and work-life balance means different things to different people. But I'll take it a step further. I mean, post-COVID, we are even there's even the gradual transition to work-life integration. So what that
Mm-hmm.
means pretty much is, work and every other aspect of your life are not isolated, so to say. They all have an interconnectivity. There's a relationship between work and other aspects of our lives, and that is what I would like to focus on. Yes, there's work life integration, and it means different things for different people. But first, I mean, as a woman, it is important to understand your realities. And I always still come back to these realities because it's not the same situation for every woman. It's not the same situation for, every single individual. A single parent, for example, is different from someone who is married and, has his or her partner with her. Is different even from the person who is married, who has either a cooperative partner or an uncooperative partner. So those realities are different, and we must always strive to understand what our realities are and design systems for ourselves that enable us ensure work life integration. Now what work life integration means is, you are not divorcing one aspect of life from the other, and you need to ensure that all those things are well fused in a manner that enables you to thrive, whether at work or in other aspects of life. There are so many principles, and I always share with people. First, what is your support system? What support systems do you have? What are your goals and your ambitions? Because again, those are the things that the steps that you need to outline to get you to where you want to get to. Life is a continuum, it's a journey. So what you want to achieve in 2022, for example, may be different from what you want to achieve in 2023. Ultimately is to help you to achieve that, ultimate big picture that you're seeing for yourself. So what are the things that you can do? First is, analyze what your reality is, and then make solutions, make adjustments that are solutions to enable you, go through each day without stress, without, a lot of pressure. One of the things that I always say is ensure that you are mindful of your true support system. Your true support system is important. That is one. The other thing is, no, we our lives is in phases, as women especially. When you have a baby, a toddler, is different from when you have a teenager. It's different from, and the demands for all of those stages are different. There are different demands. So you need to also understand the phase of life that you are in, the stage of life that you are in, all the other things that make up that phase for you, and then begin to, build on those. For me, it's a practical daily model. It is not something that you say, oh, this year I want to do what suits today and make it work. Do what suits tomorrow and make it work. My child has open day in school today, so I know I have to make adjustment, make free up a few hours at work to attend, a session in school or something. But tomorrow she's not going to have open day. So how am I making up for the 2 hours that I've spent today,
Mm.
in the workplace tomorrow? And different other aspects of life. For example, there are days, weekends for people who, have a full living family. Some people have their families elsewhere, but if you have a full living family, you know that this weekend, oh, is for cooking, is for taking care of the house and all of that. Next weekend is for self-care. Because again, we women have a challenge of taking care of every other person but ourselves. We think of what the child will wear, how the child will make his hair or make her hair or go to the salon, how to do this, how to do that, and just forget about ourselves. So we need to also, do a lot around planning, time management, issues management. There are issues, you are looking for a lesson teacher for your child. That is an issue you need to deal with. Your child needs educational support. That is an issue to deal with. There's so much. And then again is, partnership. Partnership does
Mm.
not have to be with family alone. beyond your support system. Share ride. Someone picks up your child from school in in the afternoons, you drop off in the mornings. You need to find those kind of partnerships that well, because those are the things that ease off, life for the woman pretty much. So you have a neighbor who has a good lesson teacher. Can you have a joint session for, if the children are in the same age group, have the joint session for lessons for them. You have a neighbor whose child also attends your child's school. Do the drop off in the morning, get the parent to do the drop off in the afternoon, or better still, opt for the school bus. Some people like me don't like the school bus, because I just don't like the idea of taking my children all around the town before they drop them off at home. So that those are some of the things that I would adopt. One of the things that has also worked for me, especially in the kitchen, is have enough appliances. You cannot underestimate the effect and the impact of appliances. When you have good appliances, they ease off meal prep time. They make you spend lesser time in the kitchen. You have the right blenders, the right food processor. You also can make up variety, for your family by virtue of the equipment that you have. And then finally, we should learn to ask for help. Ask for help when we need it. I mean, there's no gainsaying. A closed mouth is truly a closed destiny. Sometimes it's just a simple idea that someone will give you by virtue of asking for help. So let's continue to seek to ask for help. But importantly, let's know as women what our priorities are, what phase of life that we are in, because the
Mm.
demands for the different phases are different, and then make adjustments as necessary. So yes, there's something called work-life integration. It's doable, it is possible, and it is a practical daily model that suits us as individuals.
Thank you so much, Chiti. Work life integration. But when we're talking about this and the pressure on women, you said something very key towards the end. And you said, ask for help when you need it. Sometimes we are faced with societal pressures. Oh, no, if you're a woman, nobody must cook for your husband, otherwise. Nobody must do this, nobody must do that. So we have all of those pressures unconsciously. Culture also play its part. Now, from your own experience, how have you been able to balance it? There's also the mother-in-law, the in-law side, particularly the African woman is like pressured on the left, pressured on the right. And at the same time, in the workplace, you don't want to be left behind. You don't want to be that person whose CV yesterday is the same CV today. From your experience, how have you been able to pull it all together and move on in career?
So one of the things that I've done is I've built a community of allies around myself. A
Hmm.
community of allies. And you need allies, through every stage in life. Your spouse is not just your husband. You need to make your spouse your ally, because when you have an ally in your spouse, it makes your own personal goals and your ambitions very easy. It makes them, because he's on the same page with you. You are sharing with him, these are my dreams, these are my aspirations. So it helps to manage his expectations. Have allies in your siblings, in your parents, even in your in-laws. We've heard of fantastic mother-in-laws who actually go shopping for their daughter-in-laws, who come to stay in the house for their daughter-in-law. So it's all not about really the society. Sometimes it even begins with us as individuals. What is our mindset? A woman who has a mindset that my mother-in-law or my sister-in-law is terrible, she's not good, she's not going to help me, is likely not going to get the help that she needs. So, and that is why I said allies, maybe not friends, but someone you can, reach out to, someone you can ask for assistance, someone that can even provide one level of support or the other. It is important. The second thing is share your goals and your aspirations with, your most critical stakeholders. Share your goals and your aspirations with your most critical stakeholders. For example, personally, some of my most critical stakeholders are my daughters. I have two teenage daughters. So one of the things that I do with them is, mom needs to achieve this. I need your understanding. I need your understanding. And so it makes it easy for them, to be able to, understand that, oh, mom is preparing for an exam. You do not need to, or, mom is, saving up for a project. You didn't do not need to make unnecessary demands. These are some of the things that you can do. In addition, Personal development is key for us as women. We need to keep upskilling, we need to keep reskilling. So, you know, pace what you're doing. When you do too many things at the same time, then it puts a lot of pressure. A lot of pressure. I want to do 6 professional courses in 2023. Does your own reality, really, can it really accept, doing 6 professional courses? How about doing two and do 3 free courses online, or listen to, podcasts that can help you show up your knowledge base? The technology is an enabler. It makes a lot of things happen for us. So, for example, I used to read a lot of books, and then I found out I stopped reading books. So I listen to podcasts, I get audio books, and during my drive time to work or my drive time back home, I'm listening to one book. So those are simpler ways to do some of those things. It's important that you find what works for you and you continue to seek improvements as you go on. Very important for us as women.
Hmm. Thank you, Titi. It's so important that you know what works for you. Another person's reality is quite different from your own reality. So just know what works for you and gather. I love that word, personal allies. They don't have to be your friends, but they're people that you need on this journey. Thank you so much, Titi. Before we round up, time is fast spent. I want to take us back to our IWD theme, embracing equity. And we did a bit of it last week, but I want to come back to it. In embracing equity, what is our role as women?
We have, a huge role as women. The first is one to, catch them young. We women have, the nurture potential naturally built in us by the Almighty. So every single girl, whether your child, whether not your child, you need to keep sharing, from your wealth of experience. We need to share from our wealth of experience, from the things that, when we were growing up, and it's interesting, our parents told us a lot of things, and we just used to feel, oh, these parents are old school, they don't even understand what is happening and all of that. But as we grew up, we realized a lot of those things. It just became reality to us that, oh, these people were actually telling the truth. So we need to, share a lot with the younger generation, because it's those things that they learn that they would imbibe when they grow up. That is one. Number two is, as much as we have, opportunities, time for mentoring, for coaching. And coaching doesn't have to be formal. It doesn't have
Mm,
to be in the workplace. You can coach your house help, for example, teach her how to do certain things, enable her and empower her, even within the space of your home, to be able to, do certain things, think differently, have ambitions, have goals, that will pursue them. And then apart from that, whether we are older or younger, especially for those in the professional space, it's important that we find a sponsor. Your sponsor is your voice when you are not in the room. Your sponsor is your voice. So that is the person who will speak up for you when you are not in the room. But on the flip side, we also have a responsibility to do great work, to do amazing work, to let our work speak for us when we are not there. And finally, we need to ensure that as much as we have, we found our feet in a room, we need to leave the door open for other women to be able to access that room, because that is
mm,
the way for us, to be able to, build this community of strong, reliable, credible, audacious women who are doing great things. We need to, speak up, open the door, and leave the door open for other women who are deserving. And I always insist, because there are women who just think, oh, let's take this with a like a piece of cake. So other deserving women, let's ensure that we leave the door open for them.
hmm. Thank you, Titi. Formal and informal coaching is important. I agree. But is there a stage where you get a coach, or you can have a coach at every stage of life? Is there a place you get to where you have arrived, uhuru, you don't need anybody to mentor you anymore, you have just arrived? Or is there a stage where you cannot get a coach because you are too young to be coached?
So coaching is not a function of age. Coaching is about learning what, certain traits, attributes, characteristics, and it is not a function of whether I'm too young or I'm too old. I recommend that once you can identify someone who has the skills, who has the attributes, who has the potential that you are looking for, and you have access to that person you can learn from. So whether you're 60 or 16, a coach is irrelevant, because life is a continuous journey, and learning is also continuous. There's a popular saying that this day we stop learning, we start dying. So whether we're
Mm.
60, whether we're 70, or whether we're 16 or 17, a coach is important. Sometimes, and coaching is not in one aspect of your life. Sometimes you need religious coaches, for example. You are 60, 65, and you want to grow spiritually. You can find a spiritual coach. So coaching is not just for one aspect of life. It's not just for the professional space. You can find a career coach, you can find a spiritual coach, you can even find a social coach, a coach that helps with relationships. You can find an emotional intelligence coach, and it is not a function of age. Age should never be a barrier to coaching.
Age should never be a barrier to coaching. So I hear you. You can have coaches in different areas. So I'm hearing, does that mean that you can have coaches, you can have several coaches simultaneously in your life?
I always recommend that, for the phase that you are in, understand what is the major priority in this phase, and then find a coach. Because again, coaches, and coaching is different from mentoring. So coaching would, steer you up to the answers that you're looking for. Mentors would show you, this is the way that I've done it, this is the way that I've experienced. So not more than two people, so that you can also, practice some of the things, that you learn from your coaching sessions. I believe that after every coaching session, there should be an action plan of things you want to do on your own, to make that improvement that you're looking for. If when a woman has too many coaches with other aspects of her life, struggling for attention, it may be a challenge keeping up with the level of information that the woman is receiving at times. So maybe not more than two per time. And for the phase and the stage of life that the woman is in, it would be my recommendation.
Thank you so, so much, Titi. All the nuggets you have shared these 2 weeks have gone a long way, I'm sure, to enable and strengthen a lot of women and some men on the call too. Somebody sent me a chat and said, I listened to it and I'm loving it. I'm saying to all my sisters and everybody around me, thank you so much for sharing your story. And thank you again for this book. Ladies, 5 of us are going to get this book in the post this week. Thank you so, so much for your time. And like I will always say, for everyone that comes on this call, that I will be back someday, sometime. I'm coming knocking again at your door. Please keep your door open because knocks to nuggets will come again. Once again, thank you so much for giving us all of this information and sharing your life experiences with us. God bless you.
Thank you. My pleasure.
Wow, 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 wow. That was so much to chew. A big thank you. You can't thank Titi enough. All of this honestly has added a lot of value. It's still the month of the women, March, the month of the women. And next week, we're still continuing. Another phenomenal woman in the house. I won't let the cat out. Just keep your eyes open, keep your ears to the ground. Make sure you are tuned to Knocks to Nuggets next week because another fantastic woman is coming on. And until I come your way next week, don't ever forget it. If you can think it, you can be it, and you can have it. And as always, I would say it again and again, together we win. God bless you. Enjoy the rest of the day, and bye for now.